All right. Thanks for joining us here at Journey Home Meditation today. I'm excited for this week. I'm especially excited for tonight. And yeah, here I am, not even living in the moment. So let's pour a cup of tea. Things like these small ceremonies, these small rituals that we have. I think um, they're really excellent ways to bring us into a desired space. Um, so, for instance, the just pouring this cup of tea and taking a moment to smell the hot tea and to get all of that sensory um, experience, it has an almost instant effect. In fact, I think even before I do that, just the act of knowing that this is what I'm going to do puts me into a different um, way of being just for a moment. And, you know, there's something really um, empowering about that. Now, sometimes people take this stance that if you are affecting something, meaning if you're contriving something or you're putting pieces together to create something, that you're manipulating or that you are somehow not being authentic or whatever this may be. But I think that in a different perspective, when we can empower our our surroundings with the intention to create a space, um, that's touching into levels of um, devotion and um, gosh, what's the feeling of what I'm trying to say here? Let me slow down for just a moment. I think it's these small rituals that we create, these tiny ceremonies throughout our day that bring us back into the center of who we are. And if we are conscious of the ceremonies that we create, if we are conscious of the way certain elements can trigger responses and reactions within our bodies, then we have an empowered mode of conscious engagement. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But if we don't uh, have a conscious awareness of this, right, um, then we are possibly being, or not even possibly, we are being directed towards uh, an unconscious path. Um, duh. I mean that's in what I'm saying. If we are not uh, conscious and using intention, then we are at the mercy of our unconscious driver, that thing about us that is doing what it thinks it has to do in any moment to protect us. Um, because a lot of our surroundings, as they are, have been crafted and created out of scarcity or a way of creating feelings of fear and scarcity. You know, our the algorithms on our social media apps on our phones, the news, the print media that we read, the conversations that we have, the most of the films and TV shows and books that are top sellers, the true crime, all of these things, all of these are unconsciously, if we are unconscious of it, directing us into a fear state. Um, and that's if that's true, if we can recognize that, right? Then it's also true that we can intentionally craft and create the mechanisms to bring us into a more loving and compassionate state. So, the next step of awareness, once we have this level of clarity where we can be aware and be conscious in the moment, is what Ram Dass would have called loving awareness. So, bringing in the compassion and the love into that space, that is creating uh, an opening and an invitation into a shared consciousness of love. Um, just even in just the beginning of that act is already opening us, and that doesn't. I don't want to say what it doesn't, and what that means is that as we are lovingly opened, we have a stronger sense that we are connected. When you are opened by love, the insecurity that feeds violence, aggression, defensiveness, all of these things that we see as commonplace in our cultures today, um, those start to fade away. And to have truly loving and compassionate engagement is to sit with pain. It's to sit with your pain and to sit with the pain of others and to sit with the suffering of the world and to experience it, to acknowledge and experience what is happening on these levels of existence, right? Once you begin to get to that deeper place of compassion and love, you can start to be present for your own healing that's required to move forward with togetherness. And you can be present for the pain, suffering, and healing of those around you. It means that you do not have to bypass the difficult realities that another person or yourself may be experiencing in the name of remaining positive. You can be a positive, loving, expression within that exchange, just by simply not turning away from it. And the ceremonies that we create to do this, I think, are very important. I think this is the reason that we hang pictures of our loved ones or of deities or of beauty on the walls of our homes and office places. I think this is why we have curated music that we choose to create certain settings and situations to bring us into that space that we desire to be seen in. It's not just the space that we want to experience, but it's the space that we want to feel a level of interaction with. Um, I was raised in punk rock and hardcore in the 90s, right? And I had a lot of anger, um, and a lot of rage, a lot of sense of injustice of the world, and I had a lot of energy towards that as a younger person. Um, and I don't think that was naive. I think that was just the experience of what was happening in that moment for me in that time period. But I would, first thing in the morning, put on music that spoke to that part of myself that I wanted to validate, that part that maybe wasn't being understood by others in my life or that I didn't know was being understood. That part of me that I couldn't see myself in other cultural expressions, other mainstream cultures. I couldn't see the parts of myself in that world of um, that was not an angry, politically charged, social justice type of expression. And I needed to see myself somewhere. And so I found this music and this culture and these people who made this music, and we all came together. And but my point is, I covered my walls with show flyers and um, band T-shirts, and the music that I listened to would take me into that space right away. It would bring me into that space of not just feeling validated for having those similar feelings, but also it brought me into that space that I am connected to others. There are people who do see and love me when they see me. It's a small ceremony to invoke those feelings, that spirit. And I think even small things like a cup of hot tea, if given its space, and if providing my focus and my attention in a really centered way to this small thing, can entirely change the course of my body's experience in that moment. And it's very quick. Like I said, I believe that course is already changing even before I pick up the teapot. As we start to gravitate towards these things, these items, these rituals, these placements of photographs and scents and candles and all of these different things, as we start to already move towards that, we are brought internal space. And this is why I believe the teachers for so long and so many different traditions have been very strong in teaching to be aware of what you surround yourself with. Um, and I think this gets misconstrued sometimes. I think we may take it the wrong way. And we may reject people in our lives. But I don't think that's necessary. I think that what's possible is through small ceremonies, we can create the space to be with anyone, to hold anything, and to sit with any sensation. And it just takes the help of just a few comfortable reminders. A few comfortable reminders can bring us right into that shared space. So let's move into some shared space. Let's bring our bodies into our meditation posture. Our meditation posture is that place of balance within our body. Extending the spine, straightening the body. We are actively creating the space for our breath. Gently bringing the shoulder blades together in the back to open the chest and open the heart. Adjust the body as needed to find that space of open acceptance. Softening the belly, feeling the belly as it rises and falls as you breathe in and out. Breathing in gently through the nose to the bottom of the belly. This is a reminder. Stay with that feeling of the body breathing as you breathe all the way in and as you slowly release all the way out. Just a couple of moments with the breath. Begin to bring your focus and your awareness on your internal space, gently closing your eyes if they're not closed. And bring into your consciousness the face of one you love, the face of someone who cares for you, someone you feel no judgment with, someone in whose presence you feel safety, someone who you care for. Bring their face right into your awareness. Let yourself be loved for this moment. Picture now the face of another who you love, another whom you care for, whose image just brings you joy. Picture your body and your experience. You are a walking temple, and on the walls of your temple you are covering them with the pictures of your love. Pictures of the people who have carried you and held you, people who bring you laughter, joy, and a sense of giving. The people who remind you that you are free. And now picture yourself See you sitting there in front of you, surrounded by all of these beautiful people that love you and that you love. And listen to the sound of your laughter. It's these small ceremonies. They really bring us right there. And when you're ready, in your time, you can begin to move the body, bringing your full awareness into the sensation of your own body moving. And bring with you today all this love that you've surrounded yourself with. And bring this compassionate kindness and awareness into your experience today. And let this move us forward to create more spaces of love, kindness, and healing. Thanks for joining this morning on the journey home. It's been good to be here today. If you happen to be in Southern Oregon, you can come into the Journey Home space this evening for a very special event that we have tonight. The Rogue Valley Psychedelic Society is going to be joining us out here in Cave Junction tonight, and we'll be having a discussion about psychedelics in recovery, ego death, and addiction. And I'll be one of the speakers, one of the people sharing and asking questions and fielding questions this evening. And if you are not in the Southern Oregon area, you can catch it on the live stream tonight. You can join us on Zoom. There's a Zoom link you can find on Journey Home's Facebook page, or Journey Home Meditations Facebook page, or my personal Facebook page. And you can also catch the live stream on any of those pages or on our YouTube at 7 p.m. Pacific time tonight. Whether it's in person or on Zoom, it's free to attend. And this is an all ages event, but there will be discussions of entheogens and plant medicines to achieve altered states of consciousness. So, yeah, we'd love to interact with you this evening. So, thanks again for joining. Hariom.